You know, in the many years that Lisa and I have worked with WBOC, we have had the pleasure and the privilege of seeing a lot of really amazing talents get a start here and then move on to bigger and better things. And we take great pride in saying we knew them when.
Exactly. Now, way back, nearly 20 years ago, one of those former employees used to sit behind the camera that I'm looking at in this very studio as I anchored the morning news. And although he was quiet, his talent behind the camera was evident. He left here and became a filmmaker in Los Angeles. Back in 2013, former Delmarva Life correspondent Brian Spiros paid him a visit in LA, and that's today's Monday Memories.
Just about every aspiring filmmaker hopes to make it big one day. Delmarva native Eric Walter is no different. The thing is, he's already on his way.
It's a great feeling when you're doing something you love.
Eric grew up in Wicomico County in the town of Mardella Springs and took an interest in writing and directing at a young age.
Since I was, about 10 years old, I was shooting short films in the backyard with my friends and neighbors and kind of recruiting people to be in a little horror films that I was creating.
Then in 2008, Eric made the move from Delmarva to Los Angeles to see where his passion could take him.
I kind of put all my chips into one pile and said, I'm going to make this work. And with the support of, my family, I was able to make it work and still am. Obviously, it's been difficult at times, but you have to stick it through.
Eric says he always had an interest in the claims of paranormal activity, specifically the Amityville horror case. It dates back to the 1970s when this man here, Ronald DeFeo Jr., shot and killed his parents and 4 siblings in their home in the affluent village of Amityville, New York.
The guy was 23 years old at the time, and he claimed that he heard voices commanding him to kill his family while he was in the house on that night of November 13th, 1974. At the time, of course, he was involved heavily with drugs and other, bad things going on in the family.
The following year, the Lutz family moved into that very same house where the grisly murders took place.
This is a beautiful home. It's not like it's being portrayed in the films as being this rickety old haunted house type of thing. This is a beautiful Dutch colonial and affluent neighborhood with the infamous quarter moon windows that kind of look out onto the lawn that almost look like jack-o'-lantern eyes, which gave it that kind of evil persona.
But it's what happened inside this house after the Lutz family moved in that eventually inspired books and several movies.
And the Lutz family that moved into that house in 1975 and purchased the house for $80,000 claimed that during their 28-day stay in the house, that the house was completely invaded by malevolent demonic forces, and that whatever was happening to them had to have affected the DeFeo family, or Ronnie DeFeo Jr. in his, obviously the crimes that he committed. So in all these subsequent years, all the books and the films and all of these media that's been strewn about all about this case for over 35 years now, none of the children, the 3 kids, including Daniel Lutz, who was 10 years old at the time, have ever spoken publicly about these events.
That is, until now. Before moving to LA, Eric created a website which archived the details of the Amityville case. Eric says Danny Lutz came across it, contacted him, and said he wanted to come public about what he experienced inside this house 37 years ago.
I flew to New York in 2009 to meet with him, and was greeted with someone who was not a calm and collected person about this. It was very, very obvious to me that he was traumatically, psychologically scarred by the Amityville horror. Whether it was true or not, almost did not matter for him, because to him, to this 10-year-old boy that's still locked within his mind, this was very, very real for him.
Eric began conducting interviews with Danny, and over the course of several years gathered so much compelling material that he was able to put together a documentary titled My Amityville Horror.
I didn't want to be the Amityville horror kid. I've been running away from it, and it finally caught up to me.
For Eric, it's a true accomplishment. He says he's been able to see his hard work and childhood dreams culminate to this one moment.
And my Amityville Horror has done well. In fact, it was one of the winners at the recent Ocean City Film Fest.
And that's pretty big kudos, right?
It is. The Ocean City Film Fest was a huge success, but the film screening isn't done quite yet. In fact, this weekend you can see some of the winners of the festival at the drive-in. Yeah, you heard me right, the drive-in.
The drive-in. The Ocean City Film Festival and Art League of Ocean City are hosting a drive-in movie event at the Ocean City Inlet. It's going to be on March 26th and the 27th. One of the films that's being featured is a special homecoming screening of My Amityville Horror by Mardella Springs native and filmmaker Eric Walter. And here he is.
Hey, Eric, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Good afternoon. It's great to be here with you guys.
Oh my goodness, it's homecoming. It's homecoming.
It is a homecoming in many different ways, right?
We mentioned
back here with my WBOC family.
We mentioned earlier that you used to work here.
That's right. I was a camera operator. I worked in the studio, and I was working on, my short films and some of my big projects back in the day. So it's been quite a while since we've been to meet together like this.
Yeah.
Now, we visited you, Brian Spiros visited you way back, and we just watched the piece that he did when you were, I believe you were still putting together My Amityville Horror.
That's right.
Okay, so for those who aren't familiar with it, give us a quick thumbnail.
Yeah, so My Amityville Horror is the story of Daniel Lutz, who was 10 years old at the time that these infamous events allegedly took place at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville. That's a small town in Long Island where the Lutz family, who moved into that house and stayed for 28 days, claimed that the house was possessed and haunted by spirits. The year prior to them moving in, there had been a mass murder in the house. So it definitely, no matter what your position is, it wasn't a pleasant place to live.
Yeah.
And since then, no family that's lived there has ever claimed any paranormal activity, has ever haunted them. But my film, My Amityville Horror, is very much focused on kind of the psychological trauma that this child, now an adult, endured. And it's, definitely a difficult, kind of heavy film about how he's struggled with that and living in the shadow of this story that's been drugged through the media for decades now, and how that's manifested in his own mind. So whether or not you're a believer or you think it's a hoax, it's very much about how this was real for him. Yeah. And how he's been able to reconcile with that over, almost 4 decades.
So what was it about this particular story that intrigued you, that drew you to it?
How much time do you have? Even back when I was working at WBOC, I was fascinated with this story. I had just, I traveled up to Amityville and I had visited the Historical Society. And of course, I had read the book when I was very young, as a kid. And but none of the movies really attracted me or anything like that. It was really the controversy surrounding the story, as in the people who were involved. George and Kathy Lutz, you had the various parapsychologists who were involved, Ed and Lorraine Warren of, if anybody's familiar with the Conjuring movies, in the last decade, those have been immensely popular. And so their career has kind of been catapulted because of that. Lorraine Warren appears in my film. So I had been kind of not talking with the parapsychologists, but more the journalists who had worked the story, namely Laura DiDio from Channel 5 News in New York City, had covered the story back in 1976, and she was kind of solely responsible for orchestrating a lot of the known figures that had appeared in the story. And so I had developed these relationships, and to make a very long story short, I had moved to Los Angeles in 2008, and just a few months later, I was contacted out of the blue, by a gentleman who was friends with Daniel Lutz and claimed that Danny Lutz wanted to come forward, tell his story. Of course, those children had never spoken publicly at any time about what did or did not happen. And after he sent a picture at my request of him, the striking resemblance to his mother, Kathy Lutz, was so immediate that I knew this wasn't a joke and this was real. And that kind of started this whole My Amityville Horror experience. And it was very, very, it was very difficult. It was a very difficult film to make.
Wow. So screened virtually at the 5th Ocean City Film Festival.
That's Saturday, March 27th at 8 p.m. at the Ocean City Inlet parking lot. You're going to be able to see this film for the first time on the big screen in front of the ocean, in just kind of the best way possible. So tickets are available at Ocean City Film Festival's website. It's going to be, I'm so excited for this just to be being shown in a theatrical way.
Sure. Okay. So real quickly, what's next for you? You're working on another film?
I'm just now finishing up. We just reached picture lock, as we call it, on editorial, which we've been working on it for years, but it's a documentary feature, again, called Dark Side of the Mountain, which is about two men who disappeared in a small town in the Rocky Mountains, Silver Plume, Colorado. And both disappearances kind of were linked. One man was writing a novel about the first man's disappearance when he also disappeared under the very same circumstances.
Wow.
And so it's kind of an unsolved mystery.
All right, well, we're going to have you back here on Delmarva Live.
yes.
Filmmaker Eric Welter from Delmarva, now in Los Angeles. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Pleasure. Thank you.